Enlightenment of a different kind. The word enlightenment is understood differently by different people. Enlightenment, realization, ascension, transcendence, nirvana, samadhi, paradise, heaven, many different ways of looking at enlightenment. But in this video, we are going to look at enlightenment of a totally different kind. Stay tuned for that. Hi, this is Nirmala Shekhar, a coach and a body talk practitioner from Singapore, and we are currently exploring our spiritual needs in a map of self-care. The most important part of the word enlightenment is the word light. And the word light can be interpreted in two different ways. It can either mean weight or baggage, or it can mean illumination. Let's look at the word weight first. When a ship goes on the ocean and it needs to stop at a particular place, it drops the anchor. The anchor is a heavy weight that keeps the ship staying in one place. Similarly, the weights that we carry inside us, the baggage, the clutter that we carry inside us, keep us rooted to one spot, one way of thinking, and prevents us from traveling along the ocean of life. So enlightenment in this case is decluttering our inner world, something that we talked about in an earlier video. Any time that we are looking within us and identifying something that's weighing us down, either weighing us down mentally or emotionally, enlightenment allows us to shed that weight, to reduce the baggage that we are carrying within us. And in this case, that enlightenment is a process where we gradually unburden ourselves at many different levels. Another meaning of the word light is illumination. And here let's explore the word illumination in three different contexts. Firstly, light coming to us from outside us. And this light is mostly in the form of knowledge. When the mind opens itself up to a new idea, it's like the parachute that when it opens, it is very difficult to close it. Similarly, knowledge opens us up to different possibilities, awareness, and that is enlightening. Another way in which the outside light comes to us is through the company that motivates us and inspires us. And this company can be people, can be through books, can be through blogs, podcasts, videos, it doesn't matter. Any way in which we are exposing ourselves to the outside light is a process of enlightenment. But there is one caveat. There can be plenty of light outside of us. We still need to open ourselves up to receiving that light and then using that light. When that happens, the light outside us and the ability for us to open ourselves up and receiving and using that light, that process then becomes enlightening. Another way in which light or illumination can be used is to remove the darkness within us. When we use a torchlight or when we turn on the switch inside a dark room, we illumine what was previously hidden. And sometimes the dark spots within us, things that we have not looked at for a long time, can be uncomfortable, painful, and something that we may not want to deal with. Shedding light on those with acceptance, with compassion, with kindness, and then allowing ourselves to go through the process of removing the darkness from within us is again a process of enlightenment. And the third way in which enlightenment is the process of illumination is to find the light within us. Often, there is a ton of light within us that we have not acknowledged. We may not be aware of it. And certainly, we may not be willing or even able to share our own inner light with the outside world. And that is when challenges or difficulties, really turbulent times in our life, are those times in which this light, this inner light, sort of opens up a little bit and makes its presence known. Digging deep, opening our barriers, and again being willing to share our inner light with the outside world, that again is the process of enlightenment. In this context, I wanted to share a story. When my son was growing up, he was a little toddler. And with a lot of excitement, we had bought the latest craze that was available at that time, a battery operated penguin that would climb up the steps and then come down, skiing or sliding to the base of the steps again, and then pick itself up and then come down again. Initially, it was nice. We enjoyed it, and we were delighted that our son was enjoying the toy as well. But after a while, it became very irritating because our son used to want to turn that toy on and watch that penguin like hundreds of times. And the sound that the penguin made as it was going up the steps was a screeching, high tone, high frequency, and that was very irritating for me. One day I was very tired. I couldn't turn it off. And as a result, I decided to look at the penguin, what it was doing, through my son's eyes. So I just put all my tiredness away, all my resistance, and just looked at our son and then looked at the penguin going up, screeching, and then coming down. And as I sat there looking at the penguin, I had an insight, a ha ha moment. What I felt at that time was this analogy of the penguin was very similar to our spiritual journey. One, where we go up the spiritual ladder and then we want to look at the view from all 360 degrees and then we slide down. So we come down one level and then we come down another level and then we come back to the base and then tirelessly we pick ourselves up to climb up back to the top and then we ski ourselves down, enjoying the view from different angles, different perspectives. And this is spiritual journey was what I felt at that point in time. And when I had that insight, I no longer was irritated with our son and the screeching noise, because every time the irritation would come, I would also remember my insight. And that insight is related to the topic of enlightenment. Enlightenment, Nirvana, Samadhi, self realization, paradise, kingdom of heaven, all of these have been initially presented as a process. But over time, our human frailty, our human perception has distorted it and presented it as a destination that very few achieve. And it is then presented as the thing that we should be aiming for and moving towards. Whereas all along, enlightenment was never a destination, it's a process. The more we move toward the light, the more we allow light within us, the more we become lighter and shed our weight, the more that we can explore the possibilities of continuing with this process. So, enlightenment is not about a end result, but a process that is equally available to all of us at any point in our life. And with that, I bring this video to a close. Thank you for joining me. This is Nirmala Shekhar signing off. Bye bye. Namaste. Do subscribe and hit the bell button for more weekly content on self-care. And if you want even more actionable content on self-care, do join me in the Facebook group for weekly lives, discussions, and more tips.